Question: how would you feel if you were fined for answering an urgent text or banned from taking a quick photo of a sunset in a park? Regulating mobile phone use in public is not only unnecessary, but also difficult as we live in a world that is very dependent on their phones. Experts say mobile phones have become a primary resource and natural extension of our lives. According to a 2024 Pew Research Center report by research analysts Olivia Sidoti and Wyatt Dawson, 98% of Americans now own a cell phone, and 91% own a smartphone. These devices are essential for communication, work, and staying connected to the world. Restricting their use would be both disruptive and honestly unrealistic. Those on board with adding regulations would probably say limiting phone use would promote better in-person connections and enforce safety. Although that can be the case, there are various risks that we run with limiting a tool such as our phones, and there are other options for promoting healthy habits with phone use. Today, I'm going to explain why public phone use shouldn't need legal regulations. Instead of imposing rules, we should focus on encouraging respect and personal responsibility. Let's first go over how impractical it would be to eliminate phones in public areas. We know that phones are used for navigation purposes every single day, which makes eliminating them impractical. It would be very impractical to be on your morning commute and get fined for using your mobile phone when you need directions. Walking directions, train routes, bus times, and checking the morning traffic are all necessities people find when looking for navigation help. Director of Internet and Technology Research, Monica Anderson, states in her 2016 data report that 9 in 10 smartphone owners use their phone to get direction recommendations or other information related to their location, up from 74% in 2013. This information highlights the increasingly widespread dependency people have on their mobile phones to get to certain locations. Now, it is worth noting existing laws to regulate mobile phone use for driving and policies to limit phone use in schools are already in place. According to a 2024 database report from the National Conference of State Legislators, 29 states have completely banned the use of handheld cell phones when driving behind the wheel. And while it's good to promote safe driving and have students pay attention, it's also important to recognize how impractical it is to go back to the old days in a technology-reliant society. Printing out directions before hitting the road may have been safer, but voice-activated assistance from navigation apps already eliminates the bother of looking at step-by-step directions. Students who rely on their phones to navigate to a bus stop or back home, or who need to contact a family member for transportation also make it more difficult for them. Along with impracticality, this already raises concerns for the safety of not only students, but also anyone who owns a cell phone. So, let's discuss how this can impose those risks and infringe the safety of the public. There are various safety concerns regarding limiting cell phones in public, such as using them when we're crossing the street. Journalist and Eyewitness News Island Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan reported in his 2018 article that a Los Angeles County city known as Montclair banned using cell phones while crossing the street. Now, listen, I agree, this is a great step for public safety, but in the occasion that this law was to be extended to using no cell phones on the sidewalk could cause major concerns. Picture this. With that law in place, if a person walking on the sidewalk alone calls a friend for safety reasons, would it be right to fine them for having their phone out on the street? According to a 2017 survey by Catherine Zicker and Lee Rainey, former research associate and former director of technology at Pew Research Center, state that 77% of participants felt that it's generally okay to use their phones while walking down the street. This reflects how public opinion gravitates to the belief of autonomy and personal freedom for cell phone use. With rising safety threats like shootings and natural disasters, restricting phone access in schools or public spaces could prevent quick emergency responses. Cell phones allow individuals to contact emergency services, alert others, and receive real-time updates during crisis, making them crucial tools for personal safety in public spaces. In many instances, the speed at which individuals can react and communicate during a crisis determines the outcome, proving that they can be essential for survival. If we were to have people put their phones completely away, this could restrict their ability to contact loved ones and make those phone calls to emergency services. School security expert Ken S. Trump notes in his 2024 post for the National School Safety and Security Services that many school administrators set defined parameters by buying pouches in which students must place their phones at the beginning of each class and retrieve them at the end of class. Although we can see why teachers would do this, If this was the case for all schools with even stricter policies, it could seriously cause more harm. And not having the ability to at least have your phone nearby can be a bigger threat to safety rather than trying to promote safety habits for phone users. So, let's discuss how we can help people manage the way that they use their cell phones without laws or policies. We can continue to promote and educate about responsible phone use over imposing regulations. Public awareness campaigns, workshops, advertisements, and education through our institutions can reinforce self-regulation and responsibility. Phone etiquette is a good place to teach others about how to be mindful with their phones. For example, movie theaters and, as we have seen, schools have been encouraging minimizing cell phone use in these areas, such as reminding others to silence their phones before entering. Using these kinds of boundaries is a stepping stone for other public places to brainstorm their own kind of rules. We can even take advantage of pre-existing technological features embedded in our phones already. Features such as Do Not Disturb, driving mode, and app limitation settings can be useful in reinforcing responsibility in all situations. Ian Regan, a senior research scientist for the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, notes in his 2023 report that, regarding driving mode, Apple changed the initial setup procedure for the iPhone so every new user was asked if they wanted to block calls and notifications automatically whenever they were driving, and they determined about 1 in 5 users opted in. Major companies like Apple are taking steps to ensure their users are aware of their safety features with pop-ups to ensure responsibility. Personal accountability can be withheld, as this allows people to manage their phones without external regulation in a way that suits their lifestyle. In a society that values autonomy and self-discipline, this can benefit the interactions of cell phone use in public areas. Phones are indispensable tools in today's society, providing essential resources for communication, navigation, and safety. Imposing strict regulations on phone use in public could create more challenges and serious risks than benefits. Encouraging responsible phone use and personal accountability is a more effective and realistic solution that we can work towards promoting. As we move forward, it's not about limiting the tools that we rely on, but about using them wisely to stay connected, stay safe, and empowered. Thank you.